Come on in. We just delivered this house to the clients. It's about 8,000 square feet, and we just finished it and delivered it to the clients today. They did their walkthrough earlier today. They'll move in next week. There's some features in this house I'd love to share with you, one of which is the dining room. We did the floor-to-ceiling panels on all 4 walls, which creates a real nice finished look. Over in the living room / office, we did nickel gap shiplap siding on all 4 walls. You can see that they chose a dark colored paint made by Farrow and Ball that is sort of a grayish black blue finish. The floors are all white oak pre-engineered, which is really popular right now. I think the client made some terrific lighting choices. You'll see that throughout the house. And the client chose black windows on the inside and the outside, which you're seeing quite a bit of. You'll pick up some blue tape, which is where we marked some things that we wanted to take care of for the client. The butler pantry, you'll notice she went with a color for her cabinetry that is very similar to the color on shiplap in the other room. And again, you see we picked up the white oak flooring in the back of this glass front butler pantry cabinet. We ordered locally glass shelves so that the lights that we installed in the top of the cabinets have the ability to shine all the way down, and they'll light up whatever special pieces she wants to put in there. We've marked this outlet cover here. We actually have an oak outlet cover that we'll use to put in there, and we'll stain it to match the floor so it won't stand out quite as distinctly as it does now. In the kitchen, she mixed colors on the cabinets. They chose to have the cabinets run all the way to the ceiling, which you're seeing a lot of. Again, we did the recessed puck lights in the glass front upper cabinets. She chose a lovely quartz for her countertops and backsplash. I really like it. This quartz is made by Cambria. It's called Portrush, and you can see where we book matched the pattern on the horizontal surface and ran it up the wall. The slab backsplash is really very popular. We've done it in my last 3 houses, and it's a great look. Very clean and sanitary. One of the interesting features in this house is a Kohler touchless faucet that you just wave your hand in front of it. So if your hands are all covered with whatever you're cooking, you don't have to get your faucet all dirty. We use an air switch for all of our disposals, trying to keep the number of switches and interruptions in your backsplash down to a minimum. One of my favorite features in this house is the sconces she put on either side of the windows, which I think are a great, really clean look. She also opted to eliminate the cabinets on either side of the sink and actually make the windows bigger, which I think was terrific. You can see they have, it's a terrific backyard. It's about 3/4 of an acre with a lot of mature trees. So they've really done a great job of capturing that view all the way across the back of the house. One of the other features in this house with this Cambria quartz is they thickened up the island top to 6 centimeters instead of 3 centimeters like everything else. I think it adds a lot of detail and looks great on this big island. A standard sliding glass door. It's an Andersen glass door that is black on the outside and on the inside. And then there's also an Andersen passage door that will take you out onto the screen porch. One of the features the homeowner told me very early on they wanted was the oversized Andersen door. This is a 16-foot by 8-foot tall Andersen slider that when opened gives you a 12-foot opening. And they intentionally had us raise the level of the screen porch, so you've got, you have one smooth floor that takes you from the family room out onto the screen porch. The screens are not actually installed yet. Let's take a look at the screen porch. So the screen porch is on concrete, and we did a herringbone ceramic tile, which I think came out great. It's a gas fireplace, but you'll notice it does not have a glass front on it. They wanted the convenience of gas, but they did not want to have a glass front fireplace. So this is a gas fireplace that vents out the front, which works because it's an outdoor space, and I think it gives you a nice flame. This has all the appearance of a masonry fireplace, but it is actually a mechanical insert with gas logs, and then we put a real stone veneer on it and a real stone slab material here for the hearth, and it looks just like a masonry fireplace. The other feature in this screen porch is that the ceiling is all 1x4 tongue and groove fir. Really warms this place up and is just a beautiful finish. The mantle you see here is faux wood, it's concrete. What that will do is help to deflect the heat away from a future television that goes up here. As you can see, it's very hot here and not so hot up top. The object in the middle is a floor receptacle that we installed in the concrete before we poured it. The railing system that they chose, it's an unusual one. It's not one we've used before. It is it's made by Trex. It's called the Trex Signature Rod and Rail. And you see it has a horizontal bar versus a vertical bar. And of course, it's black, powder-coated aluminum. The decking we use is made by Trex. It's from their Select line. And you'll see because this deck was longer than 20 feet and we could only get 20-foot boards, the deck is actually 27 feet. So we broke it up into panels. You can see that there's 4 equal panels. And that way you don't end up with butt joints on the decking boards. We turned 2 boards 90 degrees, and I think it gives you a real nice look. The last piece to go on here will be a cocktail rail that'll be one of the boards. And while this is 3 8x4 foot panels, it really is not very difficult to open and close. Speaking of blue tape, come check out the mudroom. So the mudroom was a custom design feature that the homeowner was really excited about. Her husband and son are both very tall, so you can see we've elevated the cubbies. But because we custom build these on site, we have a very talented trim carpentry crew that builds these on site, we're able to do things like adjust the height to fit the family's needs. What she wanted was closed areas because it's nice and neat, no open cubbies, and then she wanted drawers. They play a lot of sports, and so they'll have athletic shoes and things like that that they can keep in here. They wanted, in lieu of a bench here with an open cubby on top, they wanted this all closed up and a separate bench over here, again with more concealed storage. You'll see that we ran the same nickel gap shiplap siding throughout this mudroom, which I think gives it a really nice, clean, fresh look. Given the fact that they are such an active family, a lot of sports, they have dogs and so forth, they wanted to have a laundry facility on the main floor. This is not their primary laundry facility. You can see it's a smaller washer and dryer. They are vent-free, very easy to install. I think will be really convenient for them. Not to miss out on the garage. So the folks from Tailored Living did the epoxy for us. It's really, really great finish. It's a 2-day process where they come in and they shot blast and grind all the concrete first to get it prepared, and then they'll put the paint coat down and they put all the flex on, and then the next day they come back and they put the epoxy coating on. And you can see it gives you a really nice clean finish. One of the other things the homeowner had asked us to do was to, because of the high ceiling in here, which is 13.5 feet, they had asked if we could use a special garage door track that elevates the door, and so the door will sit all the way up to the ceiling. The intent is they may put up a basketball hoop in here and be able to play during the winter. As you can see, as this garage door opens, the track raises all the way up to the ceiling so that you don't have the door hanging down in your way. That way they get the use of the whole garage. The homeowner had some really definitive ideas about ceramic tile, and I think her selections just came out great. This one, she mixes the black with the white, and I think it's a great look.
I like the doorways too, my goodness.
One of the things I really like about this room is well, first of all, it's all glass, and the fact that you have direct access out onto the deck. So this, to me, would be a great place to have an office because you can see so much of what's going on around you. You have great lighting, and you have a great view of your backyard, which is loaded with mature trees. One of the other features we do a lot in our custom homes is floor plugs. The way we're designing houses today with the kitchen open to the family room, we end up with a lot of free floating floor plans where the sofa's out in the middle of the room. So end tables end up needing a floor plug so you don't end up with a cord running across from the back of the sofa over to the wall where where it's in a travel path. So I encourage the homeowners early on to think about their furniture layouts so that we can put these floor plugs where they make the most sense for them. And this particular homeowner had a to scale drawing and did a great job of planning out our furniture, which really helped us in locating all of the electrical outlets. You can see in this room, there's one there, and there's one over there. In anticipation of using mechanized shades, we have low voltage wiring that we've put in the window jambs so that the homeowner will be able to control those shades from an app on his phone. So we used the same white oak flooring from upstairs down here and used it as in a glue down installation versus a floating floor like we did upstairs. But it's the same white oak flooring. And you'll see we use that same detail where we put some of the white oak flooring from a horizontal surface up on a vertical wall surface. You see it in there behind the wet bar cabinets. We built a media room for them. We added additional insulation in all four walls and in the ceiling so they can crank it up, not be disturbed elsewhere. So I think this room is going to provide for a really great movie experience. So here's that same white oak flooring used again as a backdrop for where the television will go. The linear fireplace you see here generates a lot of heat. So there's two things we did to manage that heat, because this is going to be where obviously one of his larger TVs is going to go. So by recessing the TV, we have protected the TV from the heat that this will generate. The other thing we did here is we used a passive ventilation system so that this whole cavity, the heat that collects in this cavity, vents out through these vents up here, will really provide a nice warm heat source in this room during the winter. She wrapped the fireplace with that same Cambria Portrush quartz that you saw upstairs, and it kind of ties the whole house together. All right, this isn't going to be terribly exciting, but one of the things we did a little different in this house is the house has a whole house dehumidifier in it, which does a great job. This morning when I came in, I had it showed 65% relative humidity in the house. I set it to 50, and within about an hour and a half to 2 hours, it had lowered the relative humidity in the house down to about 53. And I think another couple hours, it would bring it all the way down to 50, which is important. We live in a tough environment where we have tremendous humidity during the summer, and then with our gas heat, it's very dry. So in this particular house, we have dehumidification as well as a humidifier to add moisture during the winter when we are heating with gas heat that's very dry. One other thing this house has that's somewhat unusual is because of the size of the house, we use zone dampering. A lot of houses will have two different systems in them. So you may have one system that runs the upstairs and then another system that runs the main floor and the basement. Well, what we've done by using zone dampering, we're able to take that system, that one furnace and one air conditioning, and divide it in two using two different thermostats to control it. The dampers are electronically opened and closed as the two different thermostats call for it. So you can set the temperature in the basement at one level and the temperature upstairs at another. We've done the same thing on the top floor. There's one thermostat in the owner's suite, and there's another thermostat that will control the temperature for all the other bedrooms. So it really increases the comfort level in the house without having to add additional furnaces and air conditioners. It may sound complicated, but each thermostat is programmable. So you can set that thermostat every like on the weekends, you want the heat to turn on at a certain time, you want it to go back down again, then you want it to turn back on during the evening and then go back down when you go to bed. So you can set each of these zones one time at the thermostat and walk away from it. This is the sump pump with battery backup. We like to include a battery backup with all of our sump pumps in the unlikely event of a power outage and days and days of rain. You want to make sure that you've got some way to empty that sump pump out. This pipe you see here, this large pipe coming out of the sump pump, is actually a passive radon pipe. We put this in every house. Because you can't really test for radon until after folks move in, we put this passive radon system in, and then once the homeowner moves in, they can test the house, and if the readings are such that mitigation is required, it's very easy to attach the fan to this pipe that runs all the way up through the attic. Nobody has to go back in and run piping or penetrate the roof or anything. This already penetrates the roof. All they'll have to do is cut in, put the fan in, and be done. This is the main water line where it comes in. One of the things we like to do, there's a main shutoff. This is the water coming in from the street. You have a main cutoff here, but we put a second main cutoff right up above it. The difference is these three lines right here all feed the outside hose bibs. So what you're able to do, if you go away on vacation and you want to turn off all the water in your house, which you should do anyway, anytime you leave home for more than a weekend, you should turn all the water off. You can turn the whole inside of the house off, but they can leave the outside hose bibs on in case somebody's watering plants for you or that kind of thing. It's really beneficial to us during construction because we want the water off inside the house, but we want the water on for stonemasons and contractors like that. And ultimately that works out really well for our homeowners as well. This will be the exercise room. It's got a rubber floor, and then of course we mirrored one whole wall, and we did not skimp on the lights. This is a basement bedroom that the windows are below grade, so we put in an egress window well here. You see the ladder, and then there's a cover on top, so if kids are running around, they can't run and fall into the window well, and then there's a trap door that flips up. So in the unlikely event of a fire, somebody's able to get out safely. So this can actually be marketed and sold as a bedroom. We like to put twin windows in here just because it gives that much more light and really keeps it from feeling like a basement space. The blinds can be lifted all the way up or open and closed. You don't have to put anything on the outside of the door, which is messy when you go to open and close it. So in the stairwell here, you can see we used the same feature with the panels floor to ceiling that we used in the dining room. The other thing we did here is we did a level 5 finish on the drywall prior to putting the 1x4 on, so you don't see a lot of point up in here. Because this whole area gets painted with a semi-gloss finish, it was important to get the level 5 finish on the drywall first. This is just another bathroom. This is my favorite. I really like this. The homeowner requested some wallpaper. This will be her son's room, and he's a big outdoorsman, so she went with a mountain scene for the wallpaper. Custom-made white oak tops that our trim carpenter made on site, and then she really wanted to have a separate folding area, which I think came out great. And I just think these are cool. You see these big drawers? Aren't those nice? The owner's suite has a fireplace in it, and of course we raised the fireplace up off the floor, so when you're in bed, you're able to see it. So this is his custom-built closet. We work with the homeowners. My on-site trim carpenters build all this on site. We work with the homeowners for how they live and what suits them best. And so we can build drawers. We build some concealed shelving here, and it helps to keep all your belongings neat and tidy. And this is the other closet that we did here. We built this island space where you can set out what it is you're going to wear for the day and help get organized, and then added some additional drawers in here. Shoe racks. You guys have shoes on, but the floor is heated. No, you're allowed to have shoes on, that's fine. The floor is a heated floor. Obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense today, but... So this is the owner's bathroom. They really wanted a nice big shower, and they certainly got that. You see there's no doors, so you can enter the shower. There's a dry area on either end, and then of course the wet area in the middle. It has a rain pad head, 2 shower heads, and then the handheld, and of course the separate soaking tub. So these two will operate the 2 shower. Nope, not true. This operates this shower head, this operates the handheld, this operates the rain pad, and that diverter down there operates that shower. And then of course we have the recessed niches for shampoo and whatnot, hooks here to hang your towels, no doors, and I think it's going to be an awesome shower. So one other feature in this house I think that I hadn't done before that I think is great is the same thing we did downstairs where we thickened the top to 6 centimeters, we thickened this top to 12 centimeters. I think it came out great.